Hi there, this is Melanie Hunter with Holistic Health. Thank you so much for joining me. As you can probably tell, I'm sitting in my bed. This is our bedroom, and it is because I'm here to talk about sleep and the importance of sleep and hacking your sleep and how to get better sleep. This has been kind of a road for me that's not been exactly an easy one. I used to be a good sleeper, and then I feel like I went through a phase where I was just having problems sleeping, maybe due to all those years of disturbed sleep with my children. But anyway, I have made a lot of progress, and so I'm here to share what's worked for me so that hopefully you can find something that works for you. Starting off, I hear a lot of people say, they'll sleep when they're dead. And this is clearly not the optimal path for optimal health. If you choose this, you will likely die sooner. However, sleep is so important for so many different reasons. This is the time that our bodies clear out all of our cellular debris. It's a time where our brains actually get washed, and it's part of our natural circadian rhythm. And so it's really important to develop good sleep habits. So part of that is developing a sleep routine, a nighttime routine. So this doesn't have to be something elaborate, but for me, this generally means, washing my face, flossing and brushing my teeth, getting into bed, and reading. And then after I read, I know personally I still need time to process my day. So I still need to allow some time in my routine to just have some time to lay there. And so for me, I like to be sleeping between 10 and 10:30. So I really need to start all this, my sleep routine, around 9:30 at the latest, or else I'm running out of time. Other things can be a warm Epsom salt bath, which I love and take frequently. Maybe for you, it's journaling or a gratitude journal, which I have and I go in and out of using, but really great nighttime routines. And our bodies pick up on these clues. So if we're doing these things consistently, then it's sending our body a signal that it's time to sleep. So, example of this is our children. We have, bedtime routines for them. We floss and brush their teeth, and we read stories, and then I do prayers. And at the end of our prayers, I do the Lord's Prayer. And my 8-year-old just commented the other week that he said, when we do the Lord's Prayer, and he'll recite it with me, he's like, I always find myself yawning. He's like, that's when I feel tired. And that's because that is one of his strong sleep cues. We've been doing this for years, and so his body knows that it's time to settle down and to sleep. So establishing a routine for yourself is really important. Part of this routine, you want to avoid screen time for 1 hour prior to when you actually hope to be sleeping. So for me, that would be about 9 o'clock. And I know this is a really hard one, right? Our phones are so accessible. This is also sometimes the time that we wind down. So if that's not a possibility for you, then investing in a pair of blue light blocking glasses is a really great idea. They're not expensive, and I think that they're really worth it. Light is one of our cues. So without all the lights that man-made lights, it gets dark, and that's when it tells our body to go to sleep. However, we have all this light that's in our environment, and it's really throwing off our circadian rhythms. You might notice this lamp has kind of a yellowish hue, and this has a specific bulb, which is amber lighting, that is for nighttime. So I'm kind of a little bit nutty about it, but I do not want the overhead lights on. These are very much bright white bluish light, and instead at nighttime I make sure that these are the lights that are on so that I'm sending my body the right signals. Along with that, you want to try to stop eating 3 hours before when you hope to be sleeping. So for me, this is about 7 p.m. And this has a lot of health benefits anyway. I will talk about fasting and intermittent fasting in another video, but it's really important. Your body has a lot of work to do while you're sleeping, and it needs optimal time to rest. And if you're still digesting your food, your previous meal, it's going to negatively impact your sleep. So develop a routine, try to stop screen time 1 hour before bed, try to stop eating 3 hours before bed. And, another thing to kind of touch on is alcohol. I'm certainly not going to tell you not to enjoy adult beverage. I enjoy adult beverages myself. However, I do drink a lot less than I used to prior to owning an Oura Ring. And this is an Oura Ring, and it tracks my sleep, and it also tracks activity during the day if I wear it. I like it because I can also turn on airplane mode all day, so it's not putting a lot of EMFs into my body. And this will show me how much light sleep I got, how much REM sleep I got, and how much deep sleep I got. And I can show you what that looks like. And so on a good night, you know, I have 20% of my sleep maybe from REM and maybe 15 to 20% from deep sleep. And I can tell you, for me personally, alcohol 100% disrupts my sleep. It is rare that I can even enjoy one beverage without having a little bit of an alteration in my sleep schedule. So sleep or alcohol does, you know, affect our circadian rhythm. It also puts more pressure on the liver, and the liver is busy detoxifying and doing other things at night and doesn't need this load. So just something to be aware of. If you're drinking alcohol every single night, you're likely not getting the good quality sleep that you could be getting. So maybe just experiment with a couple nights off of alcohol and see how your sleep improves. I think I read somewhere that it actually takes about 2 nights for your circadian rhythm to get back on track after you've had alcohol. So if you even are drinking every other or every third night, you still might not be getting optimal sleep. So just kind of a good to know. As far as sleep hacks, you know, my Oura Ring showed me when I first got it that I was getting very little deep sleep. I'd get between 20 and 30 minutes a night, and this is not sufficient. And I couldn't understand why I was so healthy, but I was just always tired. And it was really because I was not getting good sleep. And so I have played with a lot of things over the last 2 years since I've had this ring, and I have been able to significantly, I mean, double my deep sleep. And so a couple things that have worked for me as far as sleep hacks. A big one, I think probably where I owe the most to, is this boxy looking thing here that you can see. This is called a chili pad, and it is somewhat large. I mean, it's not small. We luckily are able to put it underneath our nightstand, so it doesn't usually sit here, but I recommend it to one of my girlfriends, and she texts me like, oh my gosh, where do you put this thing? There is another version that's a little bit more expensive that you can also program, so you can go to ChiliPad's website and explore your options. But basically this, it has a remote, this one, and I can set the temperature of my bed. So this connects to a tube that runs along underneath my mattress, and it cools my bed. And so interestingly, I keep my bed, the chili pad, at about 60 degrees, which is pretty chilly, but it has dramatically improved my sleep. Interestingly, I will use my chili pad, and then I will also I have a 20-pound weighted blanket, which is this guy, and I love this thing, but it does make me too hot without the chili pad. But for me, this is really comforting. It helps keep me nestled in, and I feel grounded, and I sleep better with it. So I have my weighted blanket, I have my chili pad, I have my nighttime light bulbs. We also, you can kind of see in the back of this window, we have blackout blinds. There's also, what you can't see, sliding glass doors. We have blackout blinds as well as big heavy curtains that we also pull. So darkness is really important when you're sleeping. I touched on this just a minute ago, but you really want your room to be completely black. And I know in today's world, there's often little, I don't know, dots that emit light throughout the house, whether that's your Nest or your fire alarm or whatnot. And they do sell little blackout dots you can actually place on those. For me, I also use a sleep mask, even though it's so dark in here already. I love to sleep in a sleep mask. This is a really great one by Monta Sleep. But I use this as well, and I think that this helps me as a lot also. We also have a sound machine in here. The chili pad does make kind of a soothing sound, so we don't always use the sound machine, but sometimes we do. So our sleep environment is, you know, very thought out, and it has helped a lot to improve my sleep. I'm running out of time, but a couple things just to touch on. Supplements, there's a variety of options, and it's really about finding what works for you with your biochemistry. So there's melatonin, which is kind of an obvious one. For me, it helps me to fall asleep very quickly. However, it doesn't necessarily improve the quality of my sleep by my Oura Ring. So I use melatonin very infrequently, but I will use it. Something good to know about melatonin, so important, is more is not better. So if you find yourself falling asleep right away and then waking up in the middle of the night, unable to fall back asleep, you're actually taking too high of a dose of melatonin. So start small, and you can work your way up from there. I mean, sometimes I'll take 2 milligrams. I think 5 is really a max for me. Other options, I take kava sometimes. It's a product called Kavaplex that I like, but there's other options available. Kava is a root and it's just soothing. It helps to soothe the body. So that tends to help me sleep occasionally. I don't always take it. My husband likes to take CBD oil before sleep. I personally don't think that it improves the quality of my sleep. So I sometimes take CBD oil earlier in the day as opposed to right before bed, but that could work for you. There are other supplements. Magnesium is really great, helps your body to relax in general. We give that to our boys. L-theanine I sometimes take, not always, but that does help me. And my husband takes something called GABA, which is also, very helpful. However, just because it works for me does not mean it's going to work for you. So these are supplements to play with one at a time. Otherwise, you're not going to know what's working. Don't go and take all of these. There are supplements that have a variety of them, and you can explore those as well. So I think that's it. I feel like I just threw a lot of information at you, but really stuff that has helped improve my quality of sleep and has helped me to be a happier person. So I hope that this information is useful and helpful. As always, if you like it, please do share it. I so appreciate you and you watching this. Thank you so much.